Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting, coming to you today with the next lecture in applied psychological engineering. And this will be engineer, like engineering or an engineered recovery process from addiction. So, what we're going to talk about today is continuing on from yesterday. Yesterday, we came to the realization that addiction exists within three dimensions of self. Okay, so within the four dimensions of self, three dimensions of self, addiction can exist within. Within psychological addiction or the addiction within the conscious mind, or it can be emotional addiction, addiction within the unconscious mind, or it can be behavioral addiction or habitual behavioral addiction, addiction within our habitual behaviors. So, like, for example, narcissism, egotism, like highly egotistical people are addicted to egotism and egotistical belief structures. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, it's a habitual tendency that hasn't been corrected and that has been perverted into becoming an unconscious tendency and things like that. So we just understand, like when I'm saying an egotistical person, have you ever had a conversation with someone that sounds combative, where it becomes an argument because no matter what you say, they take a standpoint against you? That's an egotistical person because their egotistical belief structure is that conversations are arguments to be won. And each conversation is a competition and it has a winner or a loser. So I have to one up you. I have to, outdo you. I have to convince you. You can't convince me. I can never accept your truth because, like, do you sort of get it? Like, this is just habitual addiction. Addiction within behavioral patterns and addictions within psychological structures or psychological addiction. And then there's emotional addiction in there. Like, because that feeling of feeling great about yourself because you won an argument, like, do you sort of get it? So, like, when we're trying to, like, it's the same process when we're trying to alter behavioral patterns. Like, do you sort of get it? If I had a behavioral pattern of, feeling insecure around other men or something like that, like, let's say I had that, like, if I felt insecure around other men, like I'm altering the psychological sort of state or the conscious state, so the conscious synaptic pathways. I'm altering the unconscious or the subconscious synaptic pathways, the emotional state, the emotional feelings, and then I'm altering the behaviors. I'm reconditioning in new behaviors. Do you sort of get it? So we just understand, like, this is just like addiction is just a behavior. Like, that's all any addiction is. If your addiction is smoking marijuana, like, it's like if you don't smoke marijuana, if you don't consume marijuana, the addiction is a physical impossibility. It is only the enacted behavior. If your addiction is alcohol, it's only when you enact that behavior that that addiction exists. So we understand that the psychological and emotional addictions aren't real. Do you sort of get it? The only addiction that is real is the behavioral addiction. So the addiction, what we understand addiction to be, is simply behavior. It's a behavioral pattern. If I'm addicted to being egotistical, I'm addicted to the behavioral pattern of that. If I'm addicted to sex, I'm addicted to the behavioral pattern. Like, I can be addicted to sex all I want, but if I don't enact the behavior doesn't exist. The addiction doesn't exist. Do you sort of get it? So the psychological and emotional addictions are usually based within one ego for the psychological. So, like, egotistically having sex with many people makes me feel good because other people are jealous and I'm trying to compete with other people. Do you sort of get it? Emotionally, I'm getting that connection and fulfillment. Do you sort of get it? But they're not the addiction because without the behavior, they don't exist. Do you sort of get it? So my psychological addiction or my emotional addiction is me suppressing or repressing something and then going out and creating seeking for it. So when I suppress emotions, I seek emotions. Do you sort of get it? Like when I feed my ego, do you sort of get it? I become more ego based. Like, do you sort of get it? So, like, we're understanding addiction is a psychological perversion where I focus consciously on something so much that I create this sort of unconscious emotion towards it. So, like, for example, if I'm always focusing on, McDonald's and I'm seeing constantly McDonald's advertisements, I'm always eating McDonald's food. Like, do you sort of get it? I'm creating a psychological sort of addiction towards McDonald's to where my relationship or the meaning of my relationship to McDonald's, I'm perverting egotistically to sort of fill a conscious or like a conscious need, like a belief or a truth, or do you sort of get it? It's how cults and like extremist movements are able to radicalize people is because consciously we all want to sort of believe that we fit in places. We all want to feel a part of communities and things like that in tribes. Like consciously we want to believe and know it to be true. And then emotionally, we want to feel it. Do you sort of get it? And then that feeling is what gives us the biochemical response that triggers and rewards the behavior. Do you get it? So, like, the addiction is simply when something becomes unsustainable or self-destructive, or I'm seeking in self-destruction. So, like for example, like if I had an addiction to meth, like to an extent, like you could say and you could argue that the biochemical addiction is the most predominant addiction, but it's not really. Like, do you sort of get it? Because like while these drugs are addictive, okay, like there it's not the drug that is addictive, it's the emotional state. So the thing is like because meth and things like that create such endorphin rushes and it's so overwhelming, if I'm in a state where I'm suppressing emotions and I'm in this state of internal suppression and conflict, like my tendencies towards those kind of sort of states of empowerment, because that's what they make people feel empowered. Do you sort of get it? So, like, if I'm feeling really disadvantaged and disempowered and I'm feeling pathetic, like when I take something that makes me feel amazing within myself, I'm now creating very, very strong ego-based arguments and beliefs around it and truths that this makes me feel good, that I believe I can do anything when I take this drug. And I'm also creating highly strong memory association and then emotional states. Do you sort of get it? It's unsustainable. It's highly self-destructive behavior. But the problem is when I'm focused on purely sort of my ego or my self-destruction, because understand this, like they've done studies with people, they've done studies with rats, drug addiction and addiction to food and things like that is predominantly an emotional, like it's based within either emotional addiction or psychological addiction. Do you sort of get it? I have like memories and conscious thoughts that I am trying to actively forget. So I am seeking something that takes me into a state where that no longer is a worry to me. Do you sort of get it? I'm looking for connection. I'm looking for love. I'm looking to feel something. And I'm using food to feel that. Like, however that addiction forms. Like, it's because I'm repressing and suppressing my allowance to feel the full spectrum and range of my emotions, because my actions and behaviors and or what I've gone through in life, like I'm trying to forget it, like because I'm not experiencing the full range of my emotions, I fear them because we unconsciously fear the unknown. So we have to bring the unknown into the known to release the bonds of fear. Do you sort of get it? Within the known, we can now break the illusion to see the truth. Like, do you sort of get it? So when we understand this, when we are like in today's lecture, we are going to go through and I will create you a structure and a process to come out of any addiction. All you have to do is change what the meaning is to you. Do you sort of get it? So, an important thing to understand is, like I just mentioned, there is three states, okay? Three states of, or what are they called? Three dimensions of self. So there's the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the physical body or the heart. These can be influenced by addiction. The higher consciousness cannot. So the first step to overcoming addiction or to breaking an addiction is I have to break the ego's hold over my conscious mind. So, like, for example, if I am still arguing for the addiction and I haven't come to the place where I consciously want to stop that, like, I'm never going, like, nothing ever is going to change. Do you sort of get it? So, the first step is I have to break the ego's hold. And the easiest way to do that is through self-awareness. I look at myself, I look at my behaviors, I look at my patterns, and I say to myself, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? If the answer is this is not good for me, I admit that truth to myself. I stop arguing against the truth. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, alcohol. Alcohol could be good for you, alcohol could be bad for you. It all depends on your personal thing. But things like heroin, things like meth, things like these are not good for you because they destroy your body. Like, do you sort of get it? So there's no safe way to do it. Like you're going to destroy your body if you're putting artificial chemicals into your body. Do you sort of get it? So like we have to understand that like I could argue all day every day that meth is healthy for me, but like no one's ever going to believe that because eventually like it'll start showing signs and my health will rapidly diminish. So think about that like if you argue for the ego and you stay within the ego and the self-destructive behaviors of the ego, like you're killing yourself. That's it. Do you know what I mean? You're limiting your life, your whatever the ego is for you. Do you sort of get it? So if I have an addiction to meth and my ego is that I'm trying to convince myself that meth is good for me, like I'm only killing myself. Do you sort of get it? If my ego is in, you know, um, acceptance or in ignorance, or I'm unwilling to become self-aware and look at my actions, I am only limiting my experience of life because I am unconscious and unaware of even what my actions or behavioral patterns are. Do you sort of get it? So we just realize like we're only hurting ourselves when we go against the truth for the ego. So the first step to overcoming addiction is realizing that the higher consciousness is the only state that healing occurs within. So I have to remove my conscious awareness from identifying as my ego or identity of self. And I need to look at myself from a perspective outside of my own. And what that does is that forces my consciousness into the higher consciousness. Do you sort of get it? When I feel emotions, when I feel emotional, my consciousness shifts to my unconscious mind. Do you sort of get it? That's why when I'm emotional, I don't have access to logic and reason and can become illogical. So the first thing to understand is within any re-engineering practices, when we're doing synaptic pathway conditioning, or synaptic pathway development and behavioral conditioning, we understand the full brain activation. That I have to, like my right hand controls my left hand hemisphere, my left hand controls my right hemisphere. I have to cross them, cross hemispheres, to activate both sides of my brain simultaneously. When that happens, I am now implanting or developing conscious synaptic pathways and unconscious simultaneously. So think of your conscious mind as like your short-term memory and your unconscious mind as your long-term memory. Like your unconscious mind is just a much larger cache reflection of your conscious mind. So consciously, I might be able to tell you 10 countries in the world. Unconsciously, I could tell you every country in the world because if I've seen a map, that memory is within there. Do you sort of get it? So we just understand like my conscious mind only has access to maybe 10% of my unconscious mind. Do you sort of get it? So like I have to like if I want to feel the results, I have to like develop the unconscious synaptic pathways. If I want to think, know, or believe the results, I have to develop the conscious pathways. Do you sort of get it? So like we're just understanding that I have to develop out my logic, my conscious synaptic pathways. Every time I identify an argument for the ego, as the higher consciousness, I then create or engineer a new synaptic pathway created from my higher consciousness. So it's important to realize just before we continue on, like if you're in addiction right now, any form of addiction, anything like that, like just realize you are God. God exists within you and within understanding this process and truly believing in this process, you will realize God lives within you. So, what I mean by that is when you understand that I need to counteract my internal identity of self or my ego to enter and see alternative perspectives, that is the state of God that is within you. When I am outside of my internal identity of self, this individual, I have access to all. Do you sort of get it? So when we understand this, we understand that the process of overcoming this addiction of yours, and literally it just Like within this lecture, you will have a blueprint to understand how to, well, to overcome your addiction, to re-engineer your recovery, and then all it takes is you embodying it. So realize this: words have meaning, words have power. Should I say a word once, it is but a word. Should I say a word 30 times, it is now a belief. I believe that word is true. Do you get it? Should I say a word 100 times or for 100 days? Do you sort of get it? I now know that word is a truth. Should I say the word for the rest of my life, that word holds the power over reality itself. So, what this means is repetition compounds, repetition reinforces. The more I like condition the synaptic pathways I want, the stronger those synaptic pathways are. The unconscious mind, or the mind when acting unconsciously, always looks for the strongest synaptic pathways, always looks for the easiest path to fire. So the more I amplify words through repetition of duration, so through repeating the word again and again and again for 5, 10 minutes every day for 100 days. Like, do you sort of get it? We're building the strength of it. So we're understanding with this, there are specific psychological triggers I will give you, and you have to ingrain them into your mind through repeated repetition, through fucking repeating the word. Do you sort of get it? So one of them is understanding the ego. The ego always argues for the second worst option. Do you sort of get it? The higher consciousness only ever offers the best option. You need to understand this psychological trigger. I don't accept anything but the best option. Do you get it? That forces my conscious mind in any form. So, anytime my conscious mind or my ego seeks to take control, this psychological trigger triggers it back to the higher consciousness. Do you sort of get it? So, we have to understand this, that the higher consciousness is the desired state. Every time I realize I'm arguing for the second worst option, I stop arguing. I move to the best option, and I only speak from that option. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, we could take predators in life, and the ego would say, well, if they want to prey on people and harm people, it's okay to harm them. It's ego. You can justify it. It can sound logical. It can sound pretty, all you want, but it's ego based in nature because it's the second worst option. Like, what's the best option? Well, the best option is if everyone had an inherent understanding and social commitment towards that they upheld an honor and oath to not being predatory towards others. Like, do you sort of get it? So when you realize I am in here defending egotistically my addiction or justifying why it's acceptable for me not to do what is right or what I know I need to do, I stop and I have to refuse it. So I have to create that psychological trigger and ingrain it through the full brain activation process. So there's a reprogramming process on my YouTube and in my books where I outline for you how to reprogram synaptic pathways and redevelop synaptic pathways. But for this, you literally cross your arms and it's like I don't accept the second best option. I only accept the best option. Like, do you sort of get it? And what we're doing is we're adding meaning to it. Do you sort of get it? So that is the psychological trigger. And now the meaning is I only ever stand in the best option. If I identify that I am not standing in the best option, I pivot, I move. It doesn't matter how good I egotistically think my defense it is never going to be as strong as in the best option. It will always be a false defense where I can be overrun. Do you get it? So the illusion is that when I'm in the ego, I am in a position of strength, that justifying harming predators is a good thing to do. Like, do you sort of get it? Like that that position will never stand against the right thing. Like, do you sort of get it? Like the best option will always eviscerate that because truth forces any competition to stand within that truth or within the light of that truth. Do you sort of get it? So when I force myself to stand in the best option, so let's say I'm an alcoholic, and let's say I want to give up the addiction of alcohol. Okay, so why do I want to do this? Do you sort of understand? Like, what is the best option? I'm saying to myself right now, my actions and behaviors and relationship with alcohol is not the best, and it's not like it's a second worst option. Do you sort of get it? What is the best option? Is the best option for me to develop a healthy relationship with alcohol, or is the best option for me to remove alcohol or like completely? So we decide how do we want to do it? And now keeping alcohol, removing alcohol, like you just have to understand it's psychological and emotional. Like if you remove it, if you keep it, nothing changes. Do you sort of get it? The process is the same. Like you have to make a conscious choice if you're keeping alcohol that should I say I have 2 beers at a time and I don't like you set rules and you uphold them and you make an oath to yourself that is unbreakable. And the way I do this with myself, you don't have to do it. I do it to the extreme because it makes it really easy. But like basically, any oath I give to myself, should I wish to break it, I have to go and find either a large building, like maybe 10, 20 stories, and jump off the roof. If I survive the fall, I get to do like break my oath, or I have to find a cliff and do it. Like that's a legitimate pathway. Like if I want to break an oath to myself, that's what I have to do. Like it's an I ingrained it unconsciously because like my childhood made me a psychopath. So I have very aggressive and predatory tendencies. Do you sort of get it? Like I understand how to kill people. So like if I wanted something that someone else had, like why wouldn't I just kill them? Do you sort of get it? If someone attacked me, why wouldn't I just kill them? Like most men think fighting is like this fucking equal thing. Like, if you try to attack me, I'm just going to grab your neck and snap it in seconds because I know 99.99% of people don't even recognize that that's an attack potential. Like they might recognize it if I broadcast it, but if I allow you to grab onto me and then I just grab up and jump, like lights out. Like, do you sort of get it? So I had to create unconscious synaptic pathways that alternate around those patterns. Do you sort of get it? To where I can create delay between like someone attacking me and me seeking to kill them so that I can consciously assess the situation. Do you sort of understand? But I have other synaptic pathways that are unconscious triggers to where if you walk up behind me and punch me, I'm going to turn around fighting because unconsciously I have triggered a fighting pattern for that so that I don't ever have to look over my shoulder. Do you sort of get it? Because you are only going to get one punch. And if you don't have a good follow-up, like I'm just going to turn around and start laying you down. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, and it won't be like boxing or anything like that. So just realize this. This is what we are doing. We are ingraining these psychological triggers, and now a conscious psychological trigger is a trigger that I consciously invoke and an unconscious behavioral pattern or emotional state is reached. An unconscious trigger is when environmental stimuli or any form of stimuli is observed, the synaptic pathway fires and is triggered. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, if you seek to emotionally manipulate me, as soon as you say something that seeks to provoke my emotion, as my emotion starts to rise, like the second it gets one standard deviation away from where I've chosen it to be in that moment, an unconscious pattern fires that shuts down all emotion. And then I just become emotionless. Do you sort of get it? And that happens within milliseconds to where I just realize my emotions are shut down. And that means someone was trying to emotionally manipulate me because the unconscious mind happens in milliseconds. The conscious mind happens in seconds. Do you sort of get it? So there's like no latency within the unconscious mind. So for me to identify these triggers and all of this and these behavioral patterns or these environmental shifts, like for example, for me to be able to enact that, like I had to train my conscious mind to be able to see and measure my unconscious mind, like my unconscious thought patterns and my unconscious emotional states. Like I can literally in my mind see my unconscious thoughts. Like, do you get it? Like I can feel like the full spectrum of my emotions. Like I have mapped them out. So you just have to understand like the unconscious mind requires a lot of work if you consciously want to control it. Like that took me like 15 years to mastering. Do you sort of get it? But you've already got a guy there in charge of the unconscious mind, and that is your unconscious identity. So realize this, like your actions and behaviors can happen outside of your conscious awareness to where you can act and behave before you're consciously aware of any occurrence or anything happening. So what this means is like you have a separate conscious identity that is your unconscious state. Do you sort of get it? That acts and operates independent of your conscious intention. I can want to be happy all I want if my emotional state is upset, mad, sad, whatever. Like, good luck for me consciously wanting something. Do you sort of get it? So when we understand this, we understand that there is my conscious identity, my internal identity of self, and then there is my unconscious identity, my unconscious co-pilot. Do you sort of get it? So when I create and I create, and you can create it for whatever you want. I created mine as the beast. Do you sort of get it? So my unconscious state, I can transfer my conscious state to my unconscious state, and I have set clear boundaries that within that state, I can access superhuman abilities. Like, do you sort of get it? Like I can shut down my need to predict your attack pattern and literally allow my unconscious mind to strike you where you are not looking without me even having to know where that is. Like my unconscious mind will just see it and strike. Like, do you sort of get it? So like I'm able to separate them and observe you and memorize your pattern and observe weaknesses while my unconscious mind is fighting you. Like, do you sort of get it? So like understand that. Like, but when we're understanding this, we just understand like if I want to deal with emotional trauma, I can consciously try and go into my unconscious mind and sort of deal with all the trauma. Or I can simply say to my unconscious identity, hey, I kind of want to deal with this and let this go. Like, do you sort of get it? So I can collaborate with my unconscious identity or I can compete with it. Do you sort of get it? Heart against mind. Do you sort of get it? Like, does it make sense? Like your entire life, you've known there's two identities within you, my heart and my mind. My heart is like associated to my unconscious mind. Do you sort of get it? My unconscious mind controls the beating of the heart. Do you sort of get it? If my heart and mind are unaligned, that's because the two consciousnesses within me, my conscious identity and my unconscious identity. Do you sort of get it? Like, start to realize this because what we are talking about is my conscious identity. I remove the addiction. My unconscious identity, I have to remove the addiction. Do you sort of get it? And then I have to enact through behavior my intention, my conscious intention. So, like, if I'm trying to give up smoking, like, I'm not smoking. Do you sort of get it? If I keep smoking, like, if I keep watching videos of people smoking, if I keep being around people smoking, like, do you sort of get it? So, my behavior, if I'm trying to break the behavior, I have to remove the stimuli. Do you get it? So it's not to say I can't be around people that are smoking, but it's like if I'm still believing that it's acceptable behavior, like now I'm arguing against myself to why I can't continue to do it. Do you sort of get it? Like if I'm trying to not be an alcoholic, right? And I'm trying to lose the alcohol addiction. If I'm going around to barbecues every weekend around people getting pissed, like I'm arguing against myself. I'm forcing myself to be in an environment that is not conducive to the outcome that I want. So now I'm in conflict with my environment. Do you sort of get it? So we just understand this as being that my ego is the only aspect of self that's going to argue against it. Anytime I argue against myself, ego. I don't even have to think of it as being true or false. It's just clear, it's ego. For example, every time I feel insecure about something, that's ego. Every time I feel fear about something, that is ego. Like, do you sort of get it? Every time I feel a need to compete, that is ego. Every time I feel a need to compare, that is ego. Like, do you sort of get it? So, like, once I understand the language of the ego, like conscious argument, do you get it? When I realize I am arguing for myself, do you sort of get it? Like, so like if I'm arguing against, if I find myself sitting there at that barbecue arguing, why not just one beer? Just one beer. Like it's ego. It's all ego. So what that means is that like I don't even have to, if I wanted to be at that barbecue, I just know like it's it's irrelevant if I want to be, if I don't want to be. Do you sort of get it? Because I've consciously chosen that I don't want to drink. So anything under that, it's irrelevant. Do you sort of get it? If I used to like beer, if I used to not like beer. Doesn't matter. Like once I've made the decision, like I'm not gonna work against myself. Do you sort of get it? So like what we're understanding in addiction is the sort of addictive nature or tendency that you experience is simply your ego arguing against yourself and you not having the understanding or willpower to go against it. So, like, for example, if you know that it's not that you enjoy drinking, that like you are being convinced that like your ego's not convincing you to have a drink because you enjoy drinking. It is convincing you to have a drink because it wants certain biochemical responses, serotonin, dopamine. Do you sort of get it? Like, so what we're doing is we're understanding that the addiction is a means to an end. Whatever your addiction is, be it food, be it sex, be it alcohol, be it drugs, be it tobacco, be it being being a dick, like whatever it is, whatever you're addicted to, like it's all ego based. Like, do you get it? It's a means to an end. It is either conscious or unconscious behavior that triggers specific emotional and biochemical states that your conscious and unconscious mind seek. Like, do you get it? Like, it's pretty important to understand this, but like, once you realize that, if my body wants me to release biochemicals, like, I either find a sustainable way for me or I find, you know, a way to fulfill that need. So, like, for example, if I want to release biochemicals, I can meditate, I can listen to music, I can watch a movie, I can, eat food, like whatever it is relational to you. I can run, I can exercise, I can do things, I can see new places, I can be around people. Like, do you sort of get it? So I'm identifying like what are the best ways for me, like the ways that I want to fulfill these needs, because evidently I have these needs. We all have these needs. Do you sort of get it? Like biochemicals are the way that our brain incentivizes behavior for our survival. Do you sort of get it? So, like, we're always going to be feeling a need to, see new things, to eat food, to drink water, to be around people, to have meaning in our life, to feel connected, to, have love, have laughter, have whatever. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, we're always going to have those. Right now, if your addiction or you're addicted to something, your conscious or unconscious mind has simply stated this is the path to fulfilling those needs. So, to the level that you feel the compulsive nature of your addiction or the drive and hunger of the addiction is simply the like the level of the need that you need to fill. So the void. So to the level of the void that I create will be the level of consumption that I need to fulfill that void. Should I avoid sort of filling that void myself through self-love, through self-worth, through self-belief, through self-action? Do you know what I mean? Through actualizing your self potential within this world. So, like, if I'm not taking those actions to fulfill my need, because remember, we understand it is in our emotional connection to others, our emotional connection to community, and our emotional connection to purpose or work that is the leading indicator in addiction. Do you sort of get it? If I'm not feeling emotionally connected to those around me, I feel isolated. If I'm not feeling emotionally connected to my community, I feel like, communityless. If I'm not feeling connected to my work emotionally, like I feel a void within the work. So we realize this, that it's not that we're trying to treat the physical addiction. The physical addiction is a byproduct of the emotional repression. Do you sort of get it? Or the physical addiction is a byproduct of the reinforced psychological addiction. Do you get it? Or to the reinforced behavioral conditioning or the habitual behavioral conditioning. Like, do you sort of get it? So, like, we start to understand that to the level of emotional need I need to feel is going to be the level of consumption that I unconsciously feel a compulsion towards. To the level of psychological reinforcement through the ego will create and strengthen that compulsive need and justify it. Do you get it? The psychological addiction justifies the compulsion. Do you get it? That I don't have a problem drinking. I just like to have 18 beers at a time. Do you get it? Like I'm justifying the consumption, but the consumption is unsustainable. Like, do you get it? Because addiction is when the behavior reaches instability. That is addiction. When it becomes unsustainable, it becomes an addictive behavior because it ceases to add to your emotional welfare or your health in life. And it now, like, do you sort of get it? So think of food addiction. Like me going out and eating fast food, me going out and eating unhealthy food, like it it is an emotional sort of experience. So it's not like it can be emotionally healthy, even if I'm eating unhealthy food, if I do it in moderation and reason and all of that. Do you sort of get it? So to a point, the behavior is healthy and actually adds to my life. But at a certain point, it scales over and it hits a cascading effect to where now every action compounds towards the degradation or erosion of my emotional health to the point of utter collapse of where I just give in to the addiction. Do you get it? So, like, we're just working that process back. So, first we have to create the new belief that we want. So, if I'm giving up alcohol, okay, what am I replacing alcohol with, or what am I fulfilling the needs through alcohol with? So it might be connection to friends, it might be sports, it might be food, it might be like whatever it is. Do you sort of get it? Like I'm identifying what are the behaviors that I'm replacing my drinking with that I did for enjoyment, for because think about it like this, like the reason addiction is so hard is because one, our psychology alters our perception to where we forget the negative and we over focus on the positive, but also like they're either socially based or um like not communal, but basically like no one became an alcoholic drinking on their own. Do you sort of get it? Like no one starts just drinking on their own. Like there probably are people, but nonetheless, do you sort of get it? It's a way of me connecting with people and all of that. And then it becomes a way of me having fun. Then it becomes a way of me letting off steam and de-stressing, and then it becomes a way of me coping with emotional pain and trauma, and then it becomes just it's what I've done for the last 60 years. Do you sort of get it? It's a journey that we take to addiction and to the levels of addiction. Now, some things like methamphetamines and opioids and things like that have a much faster rate because they're like far superior in the euphoria to natural substances. So, like artificial substances can induce more or far greater yields or results of biochemical stimulation than natural. Do you sort of get it? It's why natural based addictions have very, very long behavioral conditioning cycles. Do you sort of get it? Food addiction starts in childhood and it continues on and it reaches critical mass around 30, 40 when it really starts to catch up. So like we're not seeing it as a as a short term like this just happened in 3 years. Who knew? It's always going to be a negative relationship that is long term because it takes a long time for the health or the habit to become unhealthy or unsustainable. So, natural based addictions are more sustainable than artificial based. For example, someone who overeats and has a bad relationship with food compared to someone who only eats McDonald's. The person only eating McDonald's has a far greater or far shorter period before negative effects impact them because the nutrient deficit. Do you sort of get it? So like when we understand this, what we're understanding is that for a natural based addiction, so a food based addiction, sex based addiction, whatever, like it is a very, very long lead time for that to become predominant or prevalent. We don't become aware of it building. It is reinforced through consecutive behaviors. Do you sort of get it? So like we have to overcome that addiction emotionally and psychologically, we have to work back and reverse engineer. Do you sort of get it? All the interactions. So we have to identify behaviors that we have now that are based within that addiction. So let's say it's alcoholism. Okay. So right now I have a bad relationship to alcohol. Okay. Why do I have a bad relationship to alcohol? Because socially I used to drink in excess. Socially I used to, do you sort of get it? And we just start breaking it up and we're just creating headings, subheadings, subheadings. Like, do you sort of get it? And we're just going down and we're just linking the dots and seeing all the different things. Because me having a bad relationship to alcohol and then me having a bad developmental like structure for my relationship to alcohol, like me having a bad relationship to alcohol might have three variables that I can currently see. My developmental relationship and to alcohol might have 13. And then I go down and it might have 28. So I'm just collecting more direct variables and indirect variables. Do you sort of get it? And I'm just identifying them to identify trends and patterns within behavior. Do you sort of get it? I reverse engineer and I work through it. So, like, for example, on the psychological side of it, we are just simply identifying beliefs, ego based beliefs that we have around our addiction. And then we are just reverse engineering them to figuring out how we came to that understanding. Do you get it? How did I come to this belief that I need to drink to have fun with friends? How did I come to this belief that I need to get blackout drunk every time. Like, how did I come to this belief that alcohol was more important to me than relationships? Like, whatever it may be. Do you sort of get it? And I just work backwards, and now I'm creating the sort of the picture of my psychological addiction, of all the decisions and times I reinforced that behavior. And each of those actions compounds it. So we work on undoing it. So if you think about it like this, my addiction is a knitted sweater. I don't like the design. The design isn't me anymore. I'm not a person who seeks through alcohol. I'm not a person who seeks through sex. Do you sort of get it? So I'm just working through and unknitting rather than me burn the sweater and say to hell with it. Like, if I realize that I have become someone that I don't want to be in this life, I don't go and like end my life or burn the sweater. I change it. So I have to have grace. So we understand the ego. The ego is the enemy. Do you sort of get it? And we understand that through realization that I only want what is best. I only allow myself to move towards what is best. And I am in full control of deciding what is best for me. So, should I decide that I still want to have a relationship with alcohol, but a better relationship, I decide what is the best relationship that I can have with alcohol. And then that is my standard. Do you sort of get it? And my oath to myself is that I will hold that standard and I will not allow the ego to argue against that standard. I've created that standard in clear clarity, in clear mind, that that's what I have decided is best for me. So, should I take those actions and it turns out it's not best for me? That's okay. Do you get it? Like there's no right or wrong. Do you sort of get it? Like I personally enjoy smoking. I personally enjoy the taste of smoking weed. Do you sort of get, I don't give a fuck if anyone thinks it's healthy, unhealthy. I don't give a fuck if anyone thinks I'm addicted, unaddicted. I don't give a fuck. Because for me personally, there is no separation or difference between the state of being sober and the state of being stoned. It is the exact same state of experience for me. So it's like, do I want to drink water? Do I want to drink coffee? If I want to drink coffee, I drink coffee. If I want to drink water, I drink water. Do you sort of get it? It's the relationship to it. It's if I'm having compulsive urges of needing. Do you sort of get it? So that's what I fight because I want to have a healthy relationship with myself to where I can have something and not need it. Do you get it? So we're just understanding, like, it's not about, like, think about your life. Think about your future, the rest of your life. What we want to do is we want to create a sustainable you that majority of that time is, you know, choosing how you want to exist and existing that way. And if there's variations within that, that's okay. Do you sort of get it? We just don't want it to be the whole way through. Do you know what I mean? We don't want it to be jumping from volatility to volatility. Like I'm not going to choose to jump ship from a perfectly good ship onto an iceberg just because I want to play in the snow. Like, do you sort of get it? It's not a good idea. So it's like I don't want to create an unstable version of myself that is constantly in this state of fight or flight, needing to sort of fill emotional voids, needing to quell fears, needing to de-stress and all of that. So like I just become aware of that and then I choose what are the behaviors I want as de-stressors? What are the behaviors I want as my emotional fulfillment? Do you sort of get it? What are the behaviors I want? Like, do you know what I mean? Like for my biochemical fulfillment. Like, do you get it? Like, you're just choosing new behaviors because addiction is behavior. If I once seeked sort of my emotional stability in alcohol, I now seek emotional stability you know, in my exercise routine, in my health, in my fitness, in whatever. The outcome doesn't matter. Do you get it? Like, so it has to be what you want. Because if you choose to give up alcohol for health and you don't care about health, like, good luck giving up alcohol, mate. Do you sort of get it? Like, if you want to, like, you just have to understand, like, it's all pointless. If you're addicted to alcohol, if you're not addicted to alcohol, like, what is different? If you're saying to me that, well, what would be different would be that my life, if I'm not addicted, is stable together, my emotions are stable, and all of this. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, it's not a hard decision. It's not a difficult transfer to transfer those behaviors. Do you sort of get it? But if I'm holding on to that addiction and I want to bring that addiction along with me into that future, like she ain't gonna work. Do you sort of get it? Like since I quit drinking, I quit drinking. Like you couldn't pay me to drink alcohol. Do you sort of get it? Like there's nothing under the sun you could like I would rather have nothing. Like, do you get it? But like, for example, like tobacco, weed, and nicotine, I would sacrifice eating for that. Like, do you sort of get it? And not to say that like I would sacrifice food for it, but like you can go 3 weeks without eating before you die. Do you sort of get it? Like, does this make sense to you? So like I would choose suffering for something that I want in life over choosing to suffer what I don't want in life. Do you get it? Like it's just behaviors. So, like, if your behavior is unsustainable, i.e., you have only enough money to live or to enjoy your life, like, do you sort of get it? Like, you choose. Do you want food or do you want enjoyment? Like, do you sort of get it? Like, there's nothing else to it. Like, do you get it? But when I have un sort of or suppressed emotional trauma, that's a need for me, that enjoyment, because everything about life is hell. Do you get it? When life is good, addiction is low. Like, does that make sense? So, like, you've just got to understand, like, your ego is the aspect of self that wants you down in the mud. Like, do you get it? Like, you can just choose not to get down in the mud. Like, does that make sense? So, like, for example, for me, it's like, you know, I can have enjoyment, what I like, Like, do you sort of get it? That's a luxury good, but that's not what I need, is it? So what I need is food. So it's like for me, like you always make sure you have food. Like, do you sort of get like it's sustainability? It's a difficult thing to sort of explain because there's arguments on both sides. So one argument is that like I have to do something sustainably in terms of, for example, I have to pay my bills before I go out and enjoy life. And then there's arguments that I should enjoy life before I pay my bills. Like, do you sort of get it? And I shouldn't have more bills than necessary. Do you sort of get it? These are just different ways that people experience life. Do you sort of get it? Some people experience life by going out and doing. Some people experience life by feeling safe. Like me personally, like I've prepared my entire life for combat. So like I condition my mind to always seeking to be minimalist to like have that behavior conditioned in. Do you sort of get it? So like what I personally value is my knowledge, my skills, my abilities. Do you sort of get it? Like that's what I value. My experience, um, my emotional state, my inner peace. Do you sort of get it? Like not the material. Like, do you get it? So we just have to understand there's not one way to it. It's like the whole goal of your life is to enjoy your life. So like you should be enjoying it. So when we're doing these practices, when we're setting this up, it's very important that you understand that like who cares what other people think, but also like don't be a fucking idiot arguing heroin is healthy. It's never going to be. Do you sort of get it? So we understand that the psychological trigger to begin, because like we are now beginning to understand. We haven't started the process yet. Do you get it? That was just getting the frame to understand it. So we understand that the ego is the illusion. This is one language pattern that we have to ingrain in. And we ingrain it by doing full brain activation and just the ego is the illusion. Like, do you sort of get it? And then put in whatever you want. So you're just creating and transferring psychological structures and hierarchies of meaning. The ego as an illusion is a psychological structure. What is the hierarchy of meaning for that to you? So is it the ego is an illusion, alcohol is not my, like, in my future, whatever. Like, whatever you want or need to put in it. Like, do you get it? Like, it's whatever you want. Like, we're creating these mantras that are going to act as your synaptic pathways for altering or changing compulsive or addictive tendencies. Like, do you sort of get it? So, this break, the ego is an illusion, is a break to break you out of your individual identity of self and to understand there is an unconscious identity of self and then a higher consciousness. So, what is it that we are trying to achieve within that psychological trigger? Do you get it? The ego is an illusion. Healing only happens in the higher consciousness. Bang. So we repeat that and we repeat that. And that is the mantra. Every time I hear the ego, every time I think of the ego, what unconsciously runs, what consciously runs is the ego is an illusion Healing only happens in the higher consciousness or from the higher consciousness. Do you get it? So I understand in depthly that ego, ego based, do you get it? Like the ego only, and this is why I'm telling you these specific ones. Like these are just the language patterns that I use to break my ego, to break out into it. So one is the ego is an illusion, like the higher consciousness is where healing happens. Do you get it? Like I can be the woodcutter or I can be the axe. If I'm the fucking axe, I can't fucking sharpen myself. If I'm the woodcutter, I can sharpen the axe. I can break the axe. I can get a new axe. Do you get it? So we're understanding these psychological breaks, like you're just adding in whatever meaning you want it to be, and you're just reinforcing it and understanding any argument against these psychological triggers that I create are illusions. These are just my new truths, and I repeat them through the full brain activation or re-engineering practices. Do you sort of get it? And then I do it on repetition across long duration, across months, across years. Like, do you get it? And every time I take that action, it compounds. It's like working out. Every time I do bicep curls, my biceps get bigger. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I sit there for 1 month, they'll get a certain amount bigger. If I sit there and do it for fucking 2 years, they'll be a different size. Like, we're just developing out the synaptic pathways around one, the ego, and understanding how to enter a process to being able to remove the addiction. And then two, to then being able to understand those triggers that will try to draw you back into negative behavior. So we understand the ego is an illusion. Do you get it? You create that. Like, does that make sense? And now I'm going to rattle off a few more. And then we have, so the first step we want to do is we want to try and create a, think of these psychological triggers as bridges to your higher consciousness. So we want to try and implant a lot of. So to get out of it is, I only, the ego is an illusion. And then like I only take the best option is the next one. Do you sort of get it? And you're just adding a hierarchy of meaning to that. Like, do you sort of get it? I only take the best option because it's the strongest position. Like, do you get it? Whatever you want to put into it. Like, you can use that, you can use another one. It just has to be language that you personally believe is empowering. Do you sort of get it? I trained my entire life for combat. I think in terms of fighting positions, of defensive structures. Do you sort of get it? So it makes it's a lot more logical to me. Like, does this make sense? So whatever your internal preference is, like you can do it based on color. Like you can engineer your mind based on color and just have different colors fly on if you want. Like it doesn't really matter. Like you've just got to understand what I'm trying to do is I have a conditioned synaptic pathway that is based within unconscious trauma or emotional trauma, or it's based in psychological manipulation or psychological perversion. Do you sort of get it? And I'm just trying to figure out each of those trigger points, and then I'm creating a or redirecting it to fire in a new pattern. Like, does this make sense? So, like, it has to make sense to me, but it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. Like, do you get it? The language has to mean something to me, but it doesn't have to mean something to other people. So it's whatever means something to you. And that's all we're doing. So we've got the ego's an illusion. We only take the best option. Do you sort of get it? Like, what are some other ways that we are able to now shift ourselves to what we want in life? Do you sort of get it? I'm trying to give up the addiction, or I'm trying to overcome this addiction because of why. Do you get it? So, like, for example, like to give up my sex addiction was like, I want connection. Like, I don't just want to fucking settle for someone. Like, I actually want connection. Do you know what I mean? Like, sex is meaningless without connection. Like, do you get it? So we're just creating these breaks or these mantras that break us out of any false beliefs. So every time you identify yourself arguing for your addiction, that is the illusion, that argument. So now we create a psychological break for that argument for every time that it comes up again, that psychological trigger is going to run, or that synaptic pathway is going to fire. Do you sort of get it? So it's very important that we understand this because all we're trying to do is we're trying to break our unconscious emotional state and our conscious mind to allow a conscious awareness back into our higher consciousness. I am not my emotions. I am not my thoughts. Do you get it? Like, I am trying to separate my consciousness from my thoughts and my emotions. And I want to observe them as the observer. Do you get it? So, like, you just have to figure out or find out what the language is that you want to use to move you to your higher consciousness. And your higher consciousness is simply where you can perceive outside of your internal identity. Should someone say, I am an alcoholic, I do not egotistically feel insecure. I look at that and say, am I an alcoholic? Are my behaviors and patterns those of an alcoholic? Do I have a positive or a negative relationship with alcohol? Do you get it? I have to bring myself outside of my internal identity that believes I am me. Because if I believe I am me and you call me an alcoholic, you are now telling me that I am a low person, that I am this, that I am that. Do you get it? Insecurity. I'll start defending against it because I don't want to admit it. So I always have to admit the truth. Do you get it? Always. That's the first thing. So I admit the truth about my addiction. If I don't think it's an addiction, then great. I don't have to do anything about it. I'm fine. Do you get it? If I think I have an addiction, I work out, am I like, is this behavior like, so like, for example, if you figure out that you have an addiction to the gym and you go into the gym 4 hours a day, is that affecting your family time? Is that affecting your personal relationships? Is that affecting your work life? Is that affecting your, you know, health, like your wellness in terms of how you feel? If the answer is yes, then evidently it's a negative addiction. If the answer is no, then it's a positive addiction. So if I like to go to the gym 5 hours a day, who the fuck's it to? Do you sort of get it? If I'm able to work out 5 hours a day without killing myself, like who's it to? Do you sort of get it? So we just understand like there's no this idea of labeling shit and sort of making our mountains out of fucking molehills that I have an addiction to a fucking substance, and that substance now rules my life, and my mind can never forget about it. Like, I don't know. Do you sort of get it? Like, people are putting in too much power. So just realize, is my behavior, because that's what addiction is, behavior. When someone mentions behavior, is it positive? Is it negative? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Do I want to continue it? Do I not want to continue it? Whatever the answer is what I go with. Do you get it? So should I realize I'm an alcoholic or I'm addicted to alcohol and I now want to not be addicted to alcohol? Like, I just simply stop drinking. Like, that's the hard truth. Anything outside of not drinking is a fucking illusion. Like, there's no basis to it. There's no argument to it. If I like drinking, if I don't, it doesn't fucking matter. If I like the taste of beer, it doesn't fucking matter. If you became deathly allergic to shellfish and the doctor told you the next time you eat shellfish, you will die, are you gonna fucking eat shellfish knowing that you will die? Do you get it? Like for me, it became effortless to uphold my oaths to myself when the outcome was death. Do you get it? To the level I believe I will enact that outcome is to the level of fear I feel for every action I take. Do you get it? If I don't believe I'm going to jump off a building before I break an oath to myself, it doesn't mean jack and shit. But I know for a fact I will because I've ingrained it to be unconscious to where I don't realize until it's happened. Do you get it? Like, so it makes being or holding up my word to myself pretty fucking effortless. Do you sort of get it? So, like, you have to create like your reason and why it means something to you. Do you sort of get it? For me, I prepared my entire life for combat. Combat is life and death. For me, death has to be the outcome. Do you get it? Like, if I'm just going to feel shitty about myself, like, my oath wouldn't mean anything to me. Like, it wouldn't be worth keeping. Do you sort of get it? But if it means death, it becomes worth keeping. Do you sort of get it? So, like, you can't sell yourself short. You have to be committed to what you want. That's the first step. Like this is before we haven't even got into really like reconditioning the mind yet. Do you sort of get it? We are just in the first fucking step of actually committing to a decision. Like, do you get it? The first step is you have to fucking be willing to break your ego and say, oh, no, if I argue against, like if I argue for drinking for alcohol, I'm a fucking idiot. And then every time you hear, I'm a fucking idiot, like, do you get it? And like, I just break that ego. And now it's like anything I decide is good. So should I decide I don't want to drink alcohol anymore? Like, that's a benefit to my life. Nothing will ever take that away from being a benefit to my life. I have decided it. Like, do you sort of get it? So if I argue against it, like I'm arguing against myself, am I going to shoot myself in the foot to spite my face? Because I don't like the look of my face, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot to fucking show my face. It should have been genetically different. Do you sort of get it? It's kind of irrelevant. So like you just understand this, that like once I make a decision to exit the ego, I am no longer allowed to accept anything less than the best option. That is the only option. Anything less, as soon as I realize there is a better option, or I am not in the best option for me, I exit it. Do you get it? For example, if I'm smoking and I say that it's a benefit to my life, like if I feel like smoking is affecting my health, like I stop smoking for a bit, like I restrict it. Like, do you sort of get, I self-regulate for like health and wellness in whatever terms I want it to be. Do you sort of get it? Like, that's all it is. Like, I'm not choosing the smoking over how I feel. I want to feel good while I smoke. I don't just want to smoke, 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 smoke to the point where my mouth feels like a fucking, I've just eaten like ten fucking pineapples, like that acidity. Like, do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, if food, I'm trying to get a better relationship with food, like, I don't want to be eating until I feel like vomiting, till I feel like purging. Do you sort of get it? Like, I want to enjoy food. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy things. It's behavior. Right now, your behavior is associated to fulfilling a need, not fulfilling your enjoyment. Do you sort of get it? When I want something to be enjoyable, if I have too much of it, it ceases to be enjoyable. So I'm now going against what I want. So I'm using the psychological language to alter my behavior. Do you get it? From altering from need to enjoy. I want to enjoy smoking. I don't want to need to smoke. Do you get it? So, like, we understand that I am now telling myself, should I be continuing on the behavior or the addiction, whatever it may be? Do you sort of get it? Like, I'm telling myself and setting the new guidelines for how I want to feel and how I want to behave. Like, do you get it? So that I'm not, if I say that I don't, like, I want to feel good while I smoke, when I don't feel good smoking, do you sort of, I'm not agitated. I'm not anxious. It's not like, oh, I wish I could smoke, but I can't. Like, do you sort of get it? So we're working on the three different dimensions. When I'm altering the behavior, I'm also altering the emotional meaning of that behavior. I'm altering the emotional state that behavior induces. Do you sort of get it? So, like, we just start to understand this, that it's like, I want in life to be able to choose what I want. I don't want to be compulsively directed into what I don't want. Do you get it? I like to smoke weed. Like, do you get it? I transferred drinking to smoking. Like, I didn't enjoy drinking. Drinking was detrimental. Like, do you get it? I enjoy smoking. Like, does that make sense? Like, we're just transferring the behavior. So, like, you can transfer the behavior into hiking. You can transfer the behavior into football. You can transfer the behavior into golf. You can transfer the behavior into fishing. Whatever you want it to be. The first step after we have broken the ego is identifying, what do I want to transfer this into? What do I want to transfer this addiction into, this behavior into? If I'm giving up drinking, why am I giving up drinking? Like, understand this. Like, why am I doing this? Why is it important to me? Do you get it? Once I understand why it's important to me, like, that becomes the fuel of the meaning behind my actions. Do you get it? So if I'm giving up drinking because like it makes me more antisocial and I want to have better relationships, like I'm giving up. drinking because I want to have better relationships. So, like, if I'm giving up drinking, wanting to have better relationships, and then not investing into having better relationships, why am I giving up drinking? Do you get it? Like, this is how the ego is going to argue against you. So we understand if I'm giving up drinking to have better relationships, I got to invest into them so I get a return out of them. So that I'm not just giving up drinking to fucking sit around and watch movies and do nothing. Like, do you understand? Like, I have to understand and be able to articulate to myself why I'm doing something because this gives the authority behind my action. This gives the fuel to my action. But then I have to go out and do exactly what I said I was going to do. Otherwise, my words hold no value, they hold no meaning. So if I do not enact on that those words, then I slide back into addiction. Like, do you get it? Because the word, no words hold meaning. So we understand I'm building myself up. That's why these psychological triggers are so important. I'm ingraining these beliefs, these mantras, these psychological breaks, these psychological triggers. I'm adding meaning to them as I reinforce them, and they become the proof. Do you get it? So, like, if I only take the best option, yet every action I take, I argue to sit in the ego of the second worst option, like the word holds no meaning. Like, these are self-created tests to be able to show up for yourself. So if I say I only take the best option and all I do is try my best and take the best option that I can see, like I'm building myself. I'm reinforcing positive behavior. It doesn't matter if it's the best option, if it's not the best option, if I'm smart, if I'm stupid, if I'm competent, if I'm incompetent. If I say I'm going to try and do something and then I go out and try and do it, I have motherfucking done it. Do you get it? So, like, grace is understanding. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm going to go out and run a marathon every week because I'm giving up drinking and be all egotistical and think I'm all this shit. Like, I create things that mean something to me that allow me to show myself and direct myself into new behavior. If I'm always taking the best option in consequence or terms of my addiction to alcohol and making the best choice moving forward, like that then translates into my career, translates into my relationship, translates into, my life. And now I look around and my life's amazing because every action I took was from a place of the best option. Do you sort of get it? I didn't enter relationships just for the sake of a relationship. I entered relationships because it was the best option for me that I could see, that they were the best person for me. Do you sort of get it? Like, it doesn't matter if they are or if they aren't. Like, if I choose a relationship because I truly believe it's the best option for me in terms of like, and when we say best option for me, we're not saying that like I'm settling for this. It's like I believe this is the right option, but I also could be wrong. I mightn't fully understand it. So, like, this is the best option, but I might evolve my consciousness to understanding that there's a better option out there. So I allow the grace for growth, but I also allow the grace of not creating like milestones and markers along this journey. And a milestone and marker is enacted behavior, embodied behavior. So if I don't want to be an alcoholic and I want to lose the addiction to alcohol, I have to embody the behavior of someone who's not an alcoholic. If I'm going out drinking every day, like I'm not really like not an alcoholic. Do you sort of get it? So, like, if I'm trying to give up drinking and I keep drinking, like, I'm not giving up drinking. Like, do you sort of get it? I have to embody the new behavior that I want. Like, prior to me giving up drinking, I have to make a decision. Do I want to keep alcohol in my life or do I not want to? I can't just make it up day by day. Today I don't feel like alcohol. Tomorrow I don't feel like alcohol. The next day I feel like alcohol. Like that's how we just reintroduce unconscious behavioral patterns or habitual behavioral patterns to where I drink once this week and then 3 weeks goes by and I drink another time, then a week goes by and I drink another time, and then 3 days goes by and I drink another time, and then I'm back in the swing of just drinking every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, or whatever it is. Do you sort of get it? Or I'm back into the swing of just drinking every day. So we just understand, like, I have to embody the behavior that I want, but I can't change it. Like, do you sort of get it? Not to say that, like, I can't change my behavior, but like if I make a decision that I'm giving up a behavior, I commit to it, irrespective of if it's right, if it's wrong, if it's good, if it's bad. If I've said I'm going to do something, I do it. Now I can put a duration on there and say I'm giving up alcohol for the next 6 months. I could say I'm giving up alcohol for the foreseeable future. I could say I only like to drink when I feel like it. Do you know what I mean? On special occasions or functions or something like however I want. Like I just have to create the structure and then speak it to myself and then embody it. Do you sort of get it? So I can't just be reacting to the environment. I have to create what it looks like for me moving forward through this recovery process. And then I speak it into existence to myself, to those around me. And then I just simply do it. And like, it's the exact same process as walking across country. It's just one step at a time. Do you understand? So, like, we just understand I have to psychologically create it, I have to emotionally feel it, and then I have to embody it in my behavior, in my habit. So, when we're understanding this, like, now we're starting to understand that, like, when I am removing the psychological addiction, like, should it be to alcohol? I am simply breaking the illusion of the ego that I enjoy alcohol and that I like alcohol and that alcohol is good for me. And then I am just creating all of the new structures, all of the new language patterns, all of the new arguments, all of the new mantras, whatever it is, however you want to see it. A language pattern, a mantra, a sentence, like whatever they're called, like it's all the same thing. I'm taking a psychological structure and a hierarchy of meaning and I'm merging them together. Do you get it? And then that forms the synaptic pathway that leads to the memory or emotional state. And that's all I'm creating. Like, do you get it? Like, but I can't create it from the ego because the ego wants to control. The ego wants to compete. The ego wants to dominate. Does that make sense? 1 second. Alrighty. So what I mean by that is the ego wants to control and dominate. So if you allow your ego to sort of try to dictate emotional healing or to overcome the emotional sort of trauma, the ego only understands how to separate or how to compartmentalize it, how to sort of put it into a ball, how to put it under the rug, how to avoid it. Do you sort of get it? Your emotional trauma or your emotional addiction can only be overcome from a state of emotion. Like you have to be able to understand the emotion sort of consciously before you can sort of bring it into the light of your awareness or your conscious awareness. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, if I know that, you know, trauma from my past makes me, aggressive or makes me susceptible to, you know, anger or makes me susceptible to addictive tendencies or compulsive natures like high stress, high, you know, like so if I understand like my PTSD or my past trauma that creates heightened states of anger, heightened states of agitation, heightened states of stress, and all of this, like this is leading me to then having to like not fulfill those needs, but to quell those needs. So if I'm getting highly stressed, I need to shut my mind down. I need to de-stress. I need to get my mind off things. Do you sort of get it? So like before I learn how to deal with my emotions, alcohol was the way I dealt with my emotions. Does that make sense? So I suppressed when I was sober my emotions and only allowed myself to feel them when I was drinking. Like, do you sort of get it? Which leads me to then have an emotional addiction to drinking because it's the only way I can feel emotions. So when I want to feel emotions, I have to drink. Do you sort of get it? I can't I can't consciously change that. That's an impossible feat. Do you sort of get it? But I have to, like, to change that, I have to alter my emotional landscape or my emotional state. So, what are the emotions that I want to feel and things like that? So, for me, it was love. Like, do you get it? Like, if I wanted to feel love, like, I had to go out and drink because men weren't allowed to feel things like that. Men weren't allowed to feel emotions. If I was sad, if I was upset, I had to go out and drink because I wasn't allowed to feel sad and upset. Like, do you get it? So, like, to overcome this, like, I have to allow myself to feel sad. I have to allow myself to feel emotional. I have to allow myself to feel love whenever I want it. Do you sort of get it? Like, so the more I express over repress, I am diminishing my addictive behavior or addictive tendencies. So, like when I am trying to deal with past trauma or emotional trauma, I am expressing it. Like, do you get it? Not expressing it to others like you can, like all different shades of grey and whatever, but like it's more I have to be able to express it to myself and express it in a space that feels safe to me. Do you sort of get it? And I'm able to experience it feeling safe, and then we introduce NLP practices into it where I am like when I'm removing past trauma. So past trauma holds sort of like past trauma holds weight or value, well, not so much value, but like it holds power because of the connection to the past you. Do you get it? In past trauma, you re-experience it as the person who you were when you experienced it. So you're constantly being brought back to that imprint of your identity or your experienced self or yourself. Do you get it? So instead of me experiencing the past trauma as the version of myself who experienced that trauma, I am now projecting myself back to where I am now in my level of understanding, ability, awareness, whatever. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, for me with PTSD, because things happened in my childhood, every time I was reminded of them, I was brought back to that 8-year old me, helpless, defenseless, a victim. Do you sort of get it? So there's no way of healing that because an 8-year old cannot overcome that problem. Do you sort of get it? An 8-year old doesn't even isn't even aware of that problem. So rather than me experiencing that through the projection of my 8-year old self, I now update that memory with who I am today. Do you sort of get it? And I understand and I re experience it as I would experience it today. And like for me personally, those men wouldn't have been breathing. Like with the amount of skill and knowledge I have in fighting and combat, I would have killed them in seconds. The power's gone. The memory can be released. Do you get it? So we overcome the past trauma through redefining and re-experiencing it as we are now. Now, think about this as well. If you have PTSD, think about like, let's say you had a traumatic instance where you couldn't save a close friend and they died and all of that, and you couldn't save them. To find peace, to find rest. It's not about re experiencing it as who you were, but it's about re experiencing it now with all of the new knowledge from that experience that you got. If they died from gunshot wounds and bleeding, it's like, I know that's what would have happened, that they're going to die from that. So, how would I have overcome that? And that is how you find peace within that situation that I wasn't able to know before, but now I know. Moving forward, I have a process. I know how to deal with that. I give myself grace for not understanding in the experience. Like, for example, I give myself grace that when I was 8, I wasn't aware to all the predators and fucking evil people in this world. So I wasn't aware. I didn't pay attention. I didn't know what they look like. Do you get it? I give myself the grace for that. But now I know what they look like. So I don't ever have to fear them again because I can literally spot a predator a mile away. It's pretty easy. It's evident in their body language, how people walk, the demeanor they hold. Like it tells you everything, how their shoulders are positioned, like the pattern in which they walk. Like, do you sort of get it? Are they walking, you know, we could get in there and do a whole series on that. But regardless, like I'm updating it. And then the final step is new actions moving forward. If I don't have actions or an action plan for a situation of trauma that I dealt with, I'm always going to be having to revisit that. I'm always going to have to focus in on. So when I have a new way of acting, for example, for me, like when I was threatened, like my new action moving forward is to assess the threat and deal with it in the most vicious and violent way. Do you get it? So, like, if someone comes up and stands over me, like, I'm just going to put my palm out and crush their nose into their face. And I'm just going to try and destroy as much cartilage in their nose. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, as viciously and violently as I can in that short of a time frame. So I never have to worry about if someone comes up and fucks with me. Do you get it? I don't have to worry if people come up and try to attack me. Like I have an action plan. So that means in my mind, psychologically and emotionally, I can let go to it because I've solved that problem. Do you get it? And then the final aspect is amplifying the pain. Do you get it? So, like with the experiences I had, I was really lucky. I got out of it okay. I survived. But what if I didn't? What if things were worse? Do you sort of get it? So if I don't face the the fear, if I don't experience the hurt or the pain, it will always hold power over me. So to my perception, to the level I can perceive, I have to pull myself down into the very worst of what could have happened. Do you sort of get it? And then I build from there so that in the future I know I can go further than what I have experienced. Do you get it? So like it's important for in understanding this that like what I'm saying is if you feel heartbreak right now and you're brokenhearted and all of this and it's causing you to have alcohol addiction and negative behavioral relationship with alcohol and blah 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 blah. Do you sort of get it? Like if you have that, like to the level you feel heartbreak is the level you have experienced heartbreak. If you want to minimize the emotional sort of trauma of your current or experienced trauma, you have to amplify and feel more of it. If I want to increase my pain tolerance, I have to subjugate myself to either short, extreme bursts of pain or long durated bursts of pain. Like, do you sort of get it? And every time I hit a new level of pain experienced, it now like substitutes it. So think of it like this. When I first tried to, like, was working out and building up for the army, I had to learn how to run 10 kilometers. Do you sort of get it in like, I think like 10 or 15 minutes or something like that? But it's like, for me, it was really difficult in the beginning because I hadn't developed the muscles. So running a kilometer was difficult. Then running 2 kilometers, like, do you sort of get it? Became possible. Then running 3 kilometers, then running four. Like, I had to build up my anaerobic. I had to build up. So, like, it's like when I find points of pain or points of trauma or points of hurt to armor them and sort of remove all power that anyone else can hold over me from them. I have to amplify and experience all of it, the entirety of it. And upon the finality of experiencing it, of experiencing my death, of experiencing me being tortured, of experiencing me, whatever. Like, do you sort of get it? So I experience myself being tortured. I experience myself like in the most cruel and inhumane ways. And I let it get to that point of breaking to where I cannot take it anymore. And then I give myself the choice. Is this my reality? Do you sort of get it? Am I a victim for me? For me, it was, am I a victim or am I not? Am I a predator or am I a guardian? Am I someone that uses my strength to prey on other people? Am I someone who uses my strength to protect other people? Am I someone who fears death? Am I someone who doesn't fear death? Like, do you sort of get it? And then the choice is which one's it going to be? Give up or continue on? Give up or like quit or continue? Should I choose quit? I am already at the bottom. There is nowhere further to fall. So I can just lay in the mud and wait for the end of my days. But should I have the courage to choose to continue? So, should you say to yourself, I have this emotional trauma from my past, I have this addiction, and I bring myself emotionally to the lowest point, to fucking rock bottom. And then I say, I give myself the choice, is this me or is it not? Am I just a drug addict? Am I just an alcoholic? Am I just a sex addict? Am I just whatever? Is this me or is it not? Your choice, quit or continue. Do I throw in the towel of life and jump off the building, jump off the cliff to certain death? Or do I choose to pick up my fucking bootstraps, pick up my fucking socks, and continue on? And if the answer is continue on, well, motherfucker, there is nothing in this world that can affect me. If I have been at the depths of addiction and I choose not to be addicted anymore and I choose to move forward, like, do you get it? This substance doesn't hold power over you. The behavior doesn't hold power over you. You give your power to the emotional state. So when your emotions are volatile, your power is volatile. When you choose to drag yourself to the depths of your personal hell and suffering, and you choose to move forward, to continue, to find a way out, you become indestructible. You become unbreakable. That addiction, that substance, that behavior, it holds nothing over you anymore. Nothing. Because the aspect of you that it held power over is no longer you. In the moment you hit rock bottom, you bring yourself to rock bottom, and then you consciously choose more, choose to rise, to become, you have now become something completely different. And this is where the fuel and the power comes to overcoming your addiction. When you choose to face the emotion and remove all power that emotion held over you, and you rise back up unshaken, unbroken, unbreakable, unstoppable. Do you sort of get it? If you are an alcoholic and you bring yourself to that point of losing everything, of having nothing, of dying alone in a bed in the fucking hospital with no one because everyone hates you for who you are, and you choose, is this my fucking life? Is this where I am going? Is this what I accept? Yay or nay? If the answer is yes, you are seeing a prophecy of your future. If the answer is no, you are seeing the one inspirational point in your story that changed everything, that changed your life. Do you get it? And once you choose forward, forward is the only option. There is no going back. There is no pretending like suffering and pain can hurt you. There is no pretending like you are traumatized. There is no pretending you are a victim. Once you take yourself to the depths of hell and suffering, and you choose to pick up your fucking socks and to make it out of there, there's no there's no hesitation. There's no going back. There's nothing left to lose. There is only forward. And forward becomes the behavior. Do you get it? With our behaviors, we climb out of our own personal hell. Do you get it? I had a sex addiction. Do you sort of get it? So I forced myself into celibacy. Each day I was celibate was a fuck you to the addiction I had to sex. Do you sort of get it? And I forced myself to deal with the emotional trauma and the worthiness and all of that, like the self love. Do you sort of get it? So, whatever it is for you, like it's just the embodiment, the behaviors. Once you deal with the emotional addiction, the emotional trauma, it's literally just enacted behavior. That's it. I make a choice. I don't want to drink. I make a choice. Like, so, like, for example, I make a choice I don't want to drink alcohol. I can still drink soda. I can still drink juice. I can still drink coffee. Do you sort of get it? Like, it's not the end of the world. Should I find myself at a pub? I get a Coke. I get a coffee. Like, do you sort of get it? Should I find myself at a restaurant? Like, do you know what I mean? I have a mocktail, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, so long as there's no alcohol, like, I'm happy days. And I shift that because that emotional trauma is gone. Like, I'm now just choosing what I enjoy. And once I embody that and I allow myself to feel the enjoyment through it, life's good. So that'll finish off today's session. And we'll jump back into this for the final session tomorrow. And I'll see you on the next one. All right.